All right. Hello and welcome to Sketch Card Saturday night. And tonight we are going to be doing TMNT Ronin, which is pretty cool. I just been warming up. I have never drawn TMT in Ronin, and I can't even remember the last time I drew a Mutant Ninja Turtle, to be honest. Uh, So I'm really looking forward to this. And I'm just getting set up here, getting my screen set up. And so I just did a warm up sketch card um, because I haven't done this a Ronin or a Mutant Ninja Turtle in so long. I was like, I need to brush up on it a little bit. So I just finished this sketch card, or I'm finishing up this sketch card, just so I can get warmed up. But what I'm going to do another sketch card, and then I'm actually going to do a 9x12. Bucky 501, thanks for jumping on. How you doing? Thanks for joining me on Sketch Card Saturday night. I just did this warm up sketch. I'm just finishing up. Uh, I have never drawn. This is the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Ronin drawing sketch I've ever done in my life, and I can't even remember the last time I drew a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Period. Let alone the Ronin. So I'm looking forward to doing these. Cool. It's Saturday night. Now I'll be honest with you. I wish I was in Orlando at MegaCon this weekend. Orlando MegaCon is happening this weekend, and normally I would be there, but there's a couple of things that I have to work. Basically, I mean that's just the short and long of it. I just had to work, so couldn't be there. But I still wanted to do this show tonight, and so I figured I'd do that. Oh, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Like I said, this is the first one I've ever done, so if there's some corrections I need to make, please let me know. Are you a TMNT Ronin fan? Hail Candy! Yeah, I'm about to do another card, and then I'm going to do a 9x12 full out sketch drawing. So this is just my warm up. I'm going to auction off these two sketch cards later on. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to work on a 9x12 full mixed media drawing where I use marker, pen and ink, maybe some gouache. But I want to make sure I brushed up on this, and then the two sketch cards I'm going to auction off for $1 in about 2 hours. That'll be about how long I'm on tonight. Casey Marie from Last Ronin. Oh, I don't even know what Casey Marie. No, my friend. I just did the research on the Last Ronin to do Michelangelo. um, maybe. Well, let's see. Maybe if I is Casey Marie the I don't know who Casey Marie is. She's the daughter of Casey Jones and April O'Neil. Oh, no, I didn't know that. Maybe I can do a quick sketch if I look it up real quick, or how fast the 9x12 goes. Nate Height, thanks for jumping on. Hail Candy, appreciate you stopping by. Have you done your show yet? Aren't you in the Dragon Raid today? Casey Marie, wow. I didn't even see that in the research. The reason I'm doing the Ronin tonight is because it was requested that I do it. And I said, let me do some research and figure out if I can do it. So there's the first sketch. And if I Google it, will it come up? Because I'm actually using the phone to record, so I wouldn't be able to see it. And I don't know if you can post a picture. Can you all post pictures on here? Try it. If you can post a picture, that might help. Is Casey Marie human or turtle? Or creature, I should say. I shouldn't say turtle. I don't like that. I want to do that all in black. All right. I think that's a cool first sketch right there. Okay. Yeah, do that. Oh, she's human? Yeah, go ahead and send it to me in a message, and I'll take a look at it. Time pending. I might be able to knock out a Casey Marie sketch. So this is sketch number 1. And like I said, I'll auction it off starting at $1. What I like to do is on the sketch cards now, I auction them off for $1 at the end of the show. You don't have to hang out. I'll be on for at least 2 hours. So if you want to check back later, and then if nobody wants it, then I'll put it in the bin, but it'll be priced, more than $1 at that point, probably. But that's sketch number 1. So let's do another one real quick so that I can get warmed up. Okay, you sent the pic. Cool. I'll check it out. Actually, if I go look at the message now, will it mess up the show? I don't know. I'm gonna try. Should I try? Let's try it. Okay, I'll try it. Let's see. Can I get to messages right now? I don't think I can. I don't see an option to see my messages. If I go to my own, no, my friend, I would have to stop the show to see my messages. But I might be able to log on another device. Let's do another quick sketch, and then I'll see if I can find it. How did that one come out? Is that a good Michelangelo Last Ronin? Does that work? Okay, cool. Let's do one more, just so we're nice and loose and warm, and so tell me about how is Casey Marie involved in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? That's a new one to me. And now I can't get my other phone open. There we go. Um, I'm trying to think of I guess just do another headshot because the rest of it is pretty much ninja. So let's just do another quick headshot. Maybe this time looking over his shoulder more, because now he's kind of like, or we're just I don't know. Yeah, let's just do that. Or let's do a close-up. How about that? We'll do a close-up. We'll do a TMT close-up. That'll work. We'll get deep into the eyes. That's too close. No, but that might be cool. Who knows, right? Let's go for it. It's just a sketch card. Let's get deep into the mind of a turtle. She's only in the Last Ronin universe. Oh, she's Michelangelo's apprentice? Oh, well, that actually sounds pretty cool. That sounds very cool, as a matter of fact. Although this, I don't know if you'll be able to tell it's Last Ronin this close up. but I'll go ahead and maybe add in the hood more, kind of vignette it with the ninja hood. She has mutant powers. I'm gonna have to check her out. Is she cute? Is she a grown up? Is she a kid? What's up with what's her deal? I'm like super interested now. And I guess the Ronin is a miniseries, like 6 issues, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm gonna give him like those Batman eyes. You know, like Batman, even though he wears a cowl, he still can show expression in his eyes. Let's do that. And then maybe give him some of that forehead wrinkle. She's 20 and it was 5 issues. Okay. And then turtle nose comes down like that. And we give him a little snarl. I gotta admit that it was fun just kind of doing the research on them and trying to figure out, what might be cool for you all to check out. Is the camera good? Um, is the focus good? Do I need to zoom in some more, or is this a good angle? Let's see. There's Last Ronin and Last Ronin Lost Years. Oh shoot. I'm definitely out of the loop then. So doing sketch cards is tricky a little bit because one of the things I've learned is not to smear the marker work that I want to do. And to do it properly, I just need to put in some of the lines that are going to help me and then erase everything and redraw it after the marker. Otherwise, I put in all the ink and then the markers just smear all over the place and then it looks like garbage. But I forgot whose recommendation it was, and I'm sorry about that. But I have had a lot of fun just researching the TMT Ronin. And one of my buddies who's in my art studio with me, he's like, I told him what the request was, and he's like, oh, you'll love it because TMT Ronin is the most Batman turtle that they have. And you love to draw as Batman, so it'll be perfect for you. So the Casey Marie, she goes by the name Venus, or is Venus another character in the universe? right, I think that's, yeah, I get some. All right, I think that's enough. Venus is the name of a female Ninja Turtle. So is Venus is she in Ronin, or is she just in the regular TMNT? Because you got me like super interested now. We've got a mutant Ninja Turtle guru. I need you to educate me on what's happening, because I maybe I've been missing out on something that, because I don't know how old I was when they came out, but I think I was older at that point, and so I didn't get into them as much as some of the others, from just due to my age. All right, let's go with and this time I was ready. JT, what's happening, brother? How you doing? Don't you have a show tonight, or did you already do your show? JT is another fantastic. Now, JT is a sketch card phenom. If you all don't know, Jay Tammany, I always say Tammany, Jay Tammany, he is a sketch card guru. I mean, sketch cards, he kills it. And he does the 2.5, the traditional sketch cards, the 2.5 by 3.5. They're fantastic. They're beautiful. I think I have one or two. I can't remember. I know I got at least one because it's sitting right over here. I cannot do the 2.5, and I shouldn't say I can't do. When I do the 2.5 by 3.5s, it takes me longer. My eyes are so bad, I can't see it. And that's why I do these, the 4x6. You can't see how thick these glasses are because of the type of frame I get. But without them, it's just, although as I get older, sometimes it's easier to draw and paint without them, which is weird. We got Gary Shipman in the house, another fantastic artist. Oh man, I can't believe y'all stopping by tonight. This is crazy talk. And for those who are joining, I was requested to do some TMT Ronin. Never done it before. And so, and this was a request that came in, I think it was Thursday night. So yesterday I did some research, and so now I'm just warming up with some 4x6 sketches, and then I'm going to do a full 9x12 drawing of Ninja Turtle Ronin, and I'm looking forward to it. The 9x12s are really my jam. I can really geek out on the 9x12s, and I'm gonna do it mixed medium, probably a little gouache, definitely some marker, pen and ink. So I'm looking forward to it, but I really wanted to just get loose. I guess the only way you could tell that it's a turtle is by the face, because everything else about him is just ninja. And so I wanted to make sure I was comfortable doing the turtle face. And so that's why I'm doing these quick cards. And at the end of the show, which will be about 2 hours from now, still started at 8:30. I'll be on at least until 10:30. But at the end of the show, these 2 sketch cards I will auction off for $1. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Like I said, first time for me. So I'm not nervous. I'm actually excited. I am happy that this was a suggestion that came in. And this marker, luckily I got another one. because when I get to the full drawing, I'm going to need this color. This is the best color I found in my stash because I can go lighter from here and I can go darker from here. So if I want to do some highlights, I can do it. And if I want to do some shadows in the green, I can do it. So JT, did you do your show already? Or do you have a show coming up? So I'm still trying to remember what year the Turtles came out. I know it wasn't when I was in high school. I'm sure it was after that for sure. And I also know that he has a black mask, but because it's Michelangelo, I do want to give him that pop of orange so that, to pay homage to the fact that it's Michelangelo who's the last. And one of the things I was reading about is, why Michelangelo? And the writers was talking about because it's unexpected because he's usually the goofy, funny one. So nobody expected him to turn bad for the most part. But after his brothers were killed, he was like, "Oh, it's on." And so I thought that was pretty cool. So even though a lot of this might get blacked out, I do want to have that basic orange in there to pay homage to Michelangelo. And then for this one, I did the deep green for the hood. For the other one, I want to do a darker purple or a deeper blue. I really want purple. Do I have a purple marker? It's funny, the colors just, there's no purple that I'm used to. They're all peacock blue and pelican and cobalt and Napoleon and Persian. I'm like, where's just plain old purple? Like, can we get a plain old purple, please? Which I think would be cool with a number 6. Let's see if I can find it. I think this might be cool. It's not really purple. I think it's more of a blue, but it'll work. Actually, it's definitely a blue. But it'll work. It's better than just using straight black. If I do this all in black, then I can't go any darker than black. So doing it in blue means I can still go with the black and have some separation of colors, tones, and values. And that's really what it's all about. And by laying in those colors first, then I can come back with my straight jet black and get, actually, I think I got, this might be quicker and easier. Nope, it's not. Bubble5421, thanks for stopping by. We're doing some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles tonight. All right. I don't have that other pen out, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this. So this is sketch card number 2. And then after this, I'm going to do a full 9 by 12 drawing. A lot more detail, more color, mixed media. I'm looking forward to that. And I should be on for about an hour and a half, 2 hours doing it because I want to do a nice tight drawing. I've got a couple of poses that I think might be pretty cool. And at first, I was looking at a nice fighting pose, but then as I was going through some reference, I was like, the ninja meditation pose. That's what I've always thought was pretty cool. So I'm thinking that might be a cool pose for the next uh for the 9 by 12. And after I sketch it out, I guess I'll know here in a minute. But I definitely wanted to get loose and get comfortable. This is only the second time drawing a mutant ninja turtle Ronin, so lots of fun. I'm having lots of fun doing this one. These two sketch cards were just fun. That's about the only way I can describe it. We got Broman RN. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you and your support, sir. Oh, I forgot to do the tassels, but I might be able to do it a different way. Or maybe I don't have to do the tassels, I guess. I just would like to have them coming off the side. But I guess they're tucked into the hood on this sketch. Four Leaf, thanks for stopping by. Having multiple devices up is really helps with being able to give a nice camera shot and see what's going on in the world. It took me a while to figure that out. And I really want to try to give some character to these eyes. Definitely give them a vibe of like, I am angry. I am vicious. Could he be perhaps vengeance? I'm definitely going to have to read the story because I am not familiar with it. But as I was researching, because I've never drawn this before, I was like, oh, wow, it sounds interesting. And now that I think the series is pretty mature, I'll be able to get some trade paperbacks and really, just dive into a full story, which I love to do. I'm not a comic collector. I'm a comic reader. There's a few comics that I do collect, and a lot of times it's for the art necessarily, um, the artist usually, and every now and then it's for the story. I do collect a lot of Batman stories, just because that's my jam. I'm a Batman fiend. And I guess this Ronin could be considered the most Batmanish TMT. One of my friends, Cool, He's the one of the artists I work in the studio with. We work together on comics, and we do cons together too. We sometime we'll be at a show, and someone will ask me, "Hey, can you do me a Spider-Man?" And I'll just go, "No, I don't draw Spider-Man." He's like, so recently, someone asked me to draw Spider-Man, and I did Spider-Man Noir. And I was like, see, I do Spider-Man sometime. And he's like, you did the most Batman Spider-Man. That doesn't even count. You don't get credit for that at all. And but I did do a Spider-Man painting, which I really enjoyed doing. But I just don't think I could do Spider-Man on a regular basis. Nothing against Spider-Man. I grew up on them. I enjoy them. I think there's been some great artists that have done Spider-Man. I don't know why. I think it's the webs. It's like Aquaman. I don't do Aquaman very much at all. The scales. That's very tedious. And there are some artists that do it so well. I would just be stealing their technique because I haven't had my own. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. About 10:30. It can be yours for $1. I love doing the sketch cards, and what I've decided is, and I decided this not too long ago. Um, are the cards worth more than $1? Sure, absolutely. But as a thank you for people who actually watch the show, I'm like, if you're here, because here's the thing for me, I would be doing this anyway. I'm going to draw, I'm going to paint, all this stuff I'm going to do anyway. But if someone hangs out with me for a while, I got to reward them. And so I'm like, if you're here when I finish something, you can have it for $1. And then, because later on, I'll put a full price on it and throw it in the bin, or I might leave it for $1. Because where I spend a lot of my time are on the full drawings and the full paintings. And these sketch cards are fun. They're a good warm up, and like I said, I enjoy doing them. So it's a way for me to say thank you for people who check me out on Whatnot. Is to just be like, hey, here's a sketch card for $1. Um, Now the 9x12 drawing that I'm about to do will be more than $1, but I don't think anybody would expect it not to be either. Actually, I don't think anybody expects sketch cards to be $1. But I got that from my good friend Hell Candy, aka, she does super detailed sketches that she spends drawings that she spends weeks on. And then she'll do it, put it up for $1. I'm like, are you serious? And she's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, wow. And I was like, I can be better. There's things like this that are fun. I'm going to do them anyway. Maybe it's a good reward to put it out for $1. But yeah, she really inspired me. I was like, you know what? I gotta do that. So shout out to Hell Candy. This is kind of looking a little fun. I think I can throw in some different shades of green and make it really cool. Throw some stitching on the hood. All right, I think that's looking pretty cool. I'm going to pull some different greens and try to get a little more depth into the character, so it doesn't look as flat. Maybe kind of round it out a little bit with some value versus just the deep blacks. Were you the one who recommended that I do the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles today? I can't remember who was the person who recommended it. And is there anybody who did go to Orlando MegaCon this weekend or plan to go? There's one more day left. Normally, I would definitely be there, but I do have to work this weekend, and so I wasn't able to make it. A little bit sad about it, but such is life. It won't be the last one, and I have been. It was a good show this weekend. Frank Miller was there. Mark Silvestri was there. A lot of people who I really look up to in the business were there. So, and then I had a lot of friends who did table there. And so I'm hoping they have a great convention. All right. I think that's pretty cool. But actually that came out, I like that. It came out pretty cool. Although I want to add just a little bit more to it. I want to do let's see if I can get this right. Maybe a little battle damage. Oh, this would be cool too. Oh, maybe a little blood running out of the nose. That might be cool. Do I have my red? There we go. That might be a little cool. A little blood running out the nose. And maybe a little corner of the eye with the red. Oh yeah, I'm digging that. And then if you get punched on this side, a little battle damage on this side. Oh yeah, I'm digging that. I'm digging that. Yeah, I will. Absolutely. I will. After I do the 9x12, I will look up the reference you sent me on the Casey, and I'll do that. Tonight I cleared my schedule to do this. So absolutely. I like that. I like that. And actually, I want to bring a little bit of the teeth in. They have like chiclet teeth, don't they? And then I do want to do one more thing. Maybe a little of this over on this side. Throw some shade and shadow. So is Casey a hot chick? I mean, or is she just normal? How would you describe her? Does she play the role of cutie, or does she play the role of badass? All right, there we go. There's sketch card number 2. I think that came out pretty cool. Got a little battle damage on them. Extreme close up. Oh, okay. All right. So this one, those are my 2 warm-ups right there. All right, let me grab my 9x12 paper. Which I probably should have. Oh, there we go. I did have it ready. That's a smooth. I don't know if I want a smooth. Let me see if I have a bell on. All right, so I'm out of the vellums. So this will be a smooth. So let me check a quick reference while we're on a quick break here. TMNT Casey Marie. Oh, she's kind of badass. Whoa. Oh, you know what? I have seen her. I didn't know that's who it was. Okay, okay. I see a couple of different looks for her though. Yeah, she's got several different looks. Is there one in particular? So I see her looking kind of punk rock, and then I see her looking kind of total ninja'd out, almost like Mortal Kombat. That's what I would describe it. I see her looking like a Mortal Kombat. Then I see her looking kind of punk rock, and then I see her just looking kind of like almost like Avenger. So that's how I would describe the 3 looks: punk rock, Avenger, and Mortal Kombat. Which one do you think is best? You're partial to the half hockey mask look. Ah, okay, that's the what I would call the what did I just say? The Mortal Kombat look. You like that one? Okay. I think we can do that. All right, let's knock out a. Oh, okay, we're good. Let's knock out a full Monte Carlo, full Monty, and I normally like to do my sketches like this. Oh, you sent me the one with the Mortal Kombat hockey mask, the Scorpion mask, the Mortal Kombat. That's man, I keep forgetting exactly what. So, if I do an action pose, I'm going to do it up like this, and if I do it the other pose, I'm going to do it like this. I normally like to work like this. Um, and I think this will be cool. I think this will be cool. And if not, hey, I can always do another one. It's just paper. It is just paper. But I'm thinking I need that turtle shell. And then he's got his little turtle head. And then put him in the kneeling pose, that kneeling ninja pose, if you know what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, and then because then I can show his hands on his knees, and then you can get that 3 finger look on there, which I think is a good way to show that he's a turtle. And give him that face. Excuse me if I'm a little quiet while I'm going through my little ideation because I didn't have a pose necessarily pre-selected before I jumped on tonight. I just thought I'd kind of wing it. And I don't want to just copy another artist's stuff. I want to make it kind of my own. One of my friends was like, draw a ninja and make them fat. Just take up for the shell. And I thought that was a pretty funny way to describe it. But I do want to, and since they do have that shell, all the reference I looked up, there's no way to see the shell for the Ronin, and so I'm trying to think of a way where I can actually show some of the shell. So I'm thinking if I give him some battle damage, then I can put some tears in his in his uh in his ninja gi, and then that's an opportunity to show some of the shell sticking out. So I used to study ninjutsu a long time ago. I was deep into martial arts, uh, and I studied ninjutsu for several years, and the culture, the history, a lot of which probably I've forgotten by now, but it was very interesting. Just the goal of the ninja, what they were all about. You know, a lot of They weren't just assassins, and a lot of them just started off as farmers because they were there to protect, not necessarily there to intimidate and assassinate and kill, but they were started to protect. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But because of who they are and what they did, you get a reputation for what you almost become most notorious for versus what your intentions were, right? I mean, we do the same thing with people. Regardless of what you do, you get what you get known for is what you do notoriously versus what you really are about. I love that quote from the movie Gladiator, where he's like, "What we do now echoes through eternity." I'm like, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. All right, that's looking good so far. I'm kind of digging it. Um, did anybody else has anybody else studied ninjutsu or that? But for just being on an hour, I mean, we're making great progress. We finished 2 sketch cards. We've almost got this layout done for the main ninja drawing here. I may have put this hand down too far. Yep, that's too far down. It's not gonna look right. Best advice I ever heard. If it look right, it's right. If it look wrong, it's wrong. That makes things so much easier. That is probably, undoubtedly, some of the best advice I ever got as an artist. And it wasn't given directly to me, but it was on from Joe Kubert, who teaches at and founded the Kubert School for Cartoon Artist, comic book art, and then Frank Cho, who is a comic book artist. I don't know, and I think they both got it from somebody else who said it a long time ago, but that's where I got it from. And that's one of the things where a lot of artists, it's really hard, especially if you practice like semi-realistic or realistic. Things that always look realistic don't necessarily look good, and it's it's weird, but sometimes you have to fudge reality to make it look good in 2D. And I think that's part of what makes art cool. Is that fudging of reality, the perspective of the artist. And what another thing that I heard an artist say is They care more about drawing a feeling than drawing something that looks realistic. And this artist in particular used to do a lot of realistic drawings and just kind of altered their style a little bit. And instead of trying to do hyper realism, went to and added feeling and emotion in the paintings. And of course, it's personally, I love it a lot better. Thank you so much. Tried to get you into the TMMT 20 years ago. Oh, you know what? These TMT, they also have the knee pads and the elbow pads. Let me get that in there. Is that what he tried to get you into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 20 years ago? I think I might. I'm not saying I'm going to be a fan, but I'm definitely going to get the trade paperback and dive into the story. I might become a fan. Oh, ninjutsu. Yeah, that I wish. I shouldn't say I wish. I no longer have. I'll say this: when I was into martial arts, I think I lived a better life because it wasn't for me. It wasn't just about. I joined for the fighting. That was really my mission. Was to. It was about the fighting, and but once I got into it, and and the culture, it things changed for me. I was like, you know, I actually got in less fights and had less confrontations. Um, I treated my body better. I trained better. I ate better. I just lived a better life. And that was when I got into martial arts. And then when I studied ninjutsu specifically, I mean, the discipline that requires was phenomenal. And I was like, wow. But to be honest, once I got into the world and just experiencing different things and living life and wanted new experiences for this, that, or the other, whatever the case may be, I put a lot of that to the side and just got out there. And I'm not going to say doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing, just doing, you know being more in the world versus the soliloquy of yourself, and a soliloquy of myself. I don't even think that's the right word, but I think you understand what I'm saying. I know that's not the right word, to be honest. What's funny is there's no reason those tassels should be blowing out to the side, but I'm making them blow to the side. Oh, but the thing is, I don't do that anymore, right? I mean, that was at that time. That's how I was living. But things changed, and now I'm just a regular person and doing you know all kind of crazy stuff, traveling the world when I was in the military. And the one of the cool things too was when I was stationed in Korea, and I met people, you know some of the Buddhist monks there, people who really take that stuff seriously and treat your body well, treat your life well, treat other people well. see, this time I'm going to come with a little bit softer eye. Okay, I like that. What do you all think? Is that pretty decent? Is that a continue on? Is that a finisher? Because this is the erasing stage right here, let me tell you. And let's see. I got to gear them up. Good start. All right, cool. And on this side, maybe I add in some of the bamboo. The funny thing about ninjutsu is, once you get into it, a lot of what people think it is, it's not. And that, I think that's one of the cool things about it too. Is like, what you're thinking it might be, that might not be what it really is. And he doesn't have a traditional. He's got the knee pads, and wearing kind of a jacket. Oh, I know what I really. Ooh, stick. If I wonder if I could. No, that wouldn't look right. I was gonna stick size in his hand and have him sticking out, but that would look. If he's in that meditation mode, he wouldn't have those in his hands. It would look kind of weird. So I'll leave that out. So that's the basic sketch, but I do want him to have some gear. I want him to look like he's ready. Should trouble arise, I will jack you up if I have to, man. This is coming along pretty good so far. And he also had, so Michelangelo's weapon was nunchuck. Uh, I need my ruler. And so I'd like to try to incorporate that some way to give him his traditional weapon. Oh, you like that? As I smack the lamp. If you have a place near you that is actually these days, I don't know. I know, back in the 80s, um, and 90s, some of the traditional schools were available. These days, although a lot of them were still gimmicky, I'll be completely honest. A lot of the schools back at that time were gimmicky, meaning, they were looking for a payday. They didn't really um, know or have uh, traditional practices. But, and I can't remember the guy's name now, one of the first Americans who really trained in Jiu-Jitsu over in Japan, he had a school, and that's what I was interested in. Um, so that would have been he has a belt. He's got like almost like a utility belt. Is that right? So how we doing on time? All right, we're doing pretty good on time. We're definitely doing really good on time. And a lot of this, I'm not putting too much detail in because honestly, I know I'm going to black it out. But I want all the reference material to be there so that I can make smart decisions about what I want to draw later. And so I'm trying to get in what the major parts are. And I think I'm going to give him some buckles on his jacket. I have no idea whether this stuff is right. I'm going for cool. That's really what I'm going for. I'm just going for cool. Does it look cool versus does it look right? Because if it looks cool, then I can forgive myself for some of the other stuff maybe. All right. Got knee pads. I think I want to give him some wraps around his wrist, kind of like the strap around the wrist. Stephen Hayes, is that who it was? More pads and guns? Hmm. Guns? Really? Add more padding? What, to the elbows and knees, or just more padding overall? Oh. Oh, you had me there. I was like, whoa, I didn't know they had guns. Good one. Good one. Hmm. Oh, man. You had me on that one. Oh, that is hilarious. I was like, whoa, where did guns come from? Oh. I do want it to be turtleish though. I don't want to lose the fact that it's a turtle. And that's what I'm afraid of. I think that's pretty good. Maybe, yeah, I'll ground them out with some shadow. And then give him a horizon line about right here. And just use some type of separation of color. How's that? Yeah, I like it. I can dig it. I can dig it. Oh, man, I'm tripping. He's like, and some guns. I'm like, whoa. Oh, yeah, I wanted to do some battle damage where you can see the turtle shell underneath. All right. And then maybe even a little up here where you can see the green underneath there. And that might be, looks like he has a cape in some of the stuff too. I'm not sure about that. I'm not doing a cape because I just see that one thing with the cape. And he does have a lot of weapons all over the place. Lots and lots of weapons geared up. And goggles? What are the goggles for? All right. I think that's it. Oh, and I do want, I guess, the red moon. I'm going to do I have a good circle template? Which side? We'll go this side. And put the moon in there. All right. Cool. All right. I think that's a pretty cool sketch. And we're doing great on time. It's not even 10 o'clock yet. We've got 2 sketch cards. We've got the 9x12 sketch done. I'll do a quick ink to get the line work, and then I'll erase the pencil, and then we'll throw some color on it, and then we'll check out some Casey Marie. Is my camera still? My head bumped it, so let me see, make sure the camera's still good to go. All right, I'm actually going to, I probably should have, I don't want that to be a hard line. So I'm going to fudge a little bit with, I don't want that to be a hard, well, I guess it could have been if I did that all in black, but just so I don't mess it up. I'm going to put this in now. So I know exactly where that moon's going to go. That way I won't ink black in areas I don't want it, because the red will not cover up the black. So, and now I just want to get the rough line work in. So any questions, anything anybody want to chat about? Any good movies out? Has anybody seen Argyle? I think that came out this weekend. I'm looking forward to going seeing that. It looks fun. Looks like a good movie. I used to go to the movies every Friday. And I enjoyed it. That was my after work present to myself every Friday. I haven't been to the movies in a couple of months, I guess. I still enjoy them. I still love the movies. Video games. I haven't turned my Xbox on in years. That kind of hurts. Get back to. Again, I just want to lay down these basic lines so that when I put color in, if I put my deep blacks in now and all my shadow effects and then come back with the color, it's really going to be bad, because the marker's just going to smear. It's going to look ugly. Nobody's going to want it, because it's going to look like it's messed up. I'm surprised at how well it's coming out on this smooth paper as well. I haven't drawn on smooth paper in a while. I've been using the vellum so I can have that built-in texture, and I've been painting a lot more, so I've been using the vellum because of the painting. I think it handles it a little bit better. And again, you get the built-in texture when you use the vellum. All I keep thinking about now is, where am I going to put the guns? I wanted to get some toes in there and some hands to make sure I had the little pops of green. And then here I'll have little pops of yellow to highlight that shell. And I think that should be pretty cool. Although I could be wrong. It may not turn out just how I want it. That's probably one of the best parts about art for me is a lot of times I'm not 100% sure how it's going to turn out. If I'm doing freelance work, if I'm doing something for a client, then I kind of stick to more basic rule sets where I know what I do and what it's going to produce just because somebody's paying for it now and they expect a certain level. But when I'm working something like this where it's, you know, no consequence if it doesn't look right, then that's when I really love to just experiment with different techniques, different ways of solving the problem and see what it comes up with. Because sometimes I'll learn a new technique and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that more in the future. And sometimes I get something, I go, I'm never going to do that again because that came out really bad. In my mind, I can see where I want to put a lot of the folds, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. In the background, I really want to use paint, but it's a watercolor. Gouache is a watercolor base. And so I know I can't do it now because we don't have time for. Actually, I might be able to do it, and then while it's drying, I can do Casey Marie. That may be the plan. That might be a good plan, as a matter of fact. As long as I don't make it too watery, it'll be dry. What is the. Maybe I was in high school when the TMT came out. Does anybody know the year that they first came out? Can somebody Google that, or does somebody know automatically? Again, I'm not paying super attention to who's coming and going, but I do want to say thank you for everybody that stopped by. And whether you're watching this live or you're watching a replay on Whatnot, or you're watching the replay on YouTube, because I do record these and put them on YouTube, I do want to say thank you very much. I appreciate the support. I definitely appreciate you hanging and checking out, what's going on. And it feels good to be able to just do this and have people enjoy it. It feels really good. I always find it interesting. I've kind of developed different techniques for my drawing depending on what I think I'm going to finish it out with. Like for this one, I know I'm going to finish it out with a colored marker. And so I know I have to be cognizant of that as I lay down the colors and the inks and be very careful about where I put stuff. But I said that to say this. Because I know this isn't the finished ink, I really just want enough of it on here so that after I put the color down, I still have a good, after I erase the pencil and put the color down, I still have enough information for what is going to happen. And I know how to finish the drawing with the ink when I'm done. And 10:05. Oh, wow. We're doing really good on time. And I will say that this has been a lot more fun than I thought it would be. And I think I'm going to have to do more TMT stuff. Cowabunga, dude. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm having a lot more fun with this one than I honestly thought I would. And I've been inspired to get the graphic novel and learn more about their new story because I have definitely lost track with what they were doing in their world. And I've always liked them. I never didn't like the turtles. I don't know how far I'm going to push the drawing. That's going to be the hardest part, is how far do I push it? Because I'm almost finished this outline. And I know some of these places are going to be in deep black. So I don't want to waste marker if I'm just going to cover it up with black and I know it. So I want to kind of get in my head where those blacks are going to be, and I can just leave it. And working traditionally, that's one of the hardest problems, to be honest. Because if it was digital, I could just put the blacks and the colors on a different layer, and it would just nothing would smudge. It would look great, um, and I wouldn't have a worry in the world. But because I know I will smudge it if I don't do it right, I have to be careful. I have got to be careful. Also have to be careful with these long straight lines. Although another trick I learned was to not use a ruler, but to use a French curve instead, and it'll add a little bit of uh, a little bloom bling bling to it. Um, because the line will be naturally curved, but it'll look straight, and it'll just, again, it'll look right. I gotta tell you, this is gonna be pretty badass. That is gonna be pretty badass. All right, that's all the line work I need, and I can erase the pencil now. How we doing on time? We're doing good. We're doing good. I think I'm gonna lay down some basic color, which should only take a few minutes because I'm just gonna block it in. I'm not gonna try to do the tones and values just yet. All right. Bucky, are you here? Did you want a sketch card of Lisa Marie? Or not Lisa Marie. Casey Marie? Is that what you were looking for? Kind of like a head and shoulders shot, or more of a waist up shot? Although head and shoulders, I guess you wouldn't really know it was Casey Marie, would you? Oh, well, she has the mask. If we do that version, then it should be pretty obvious who it is. All right. I like that. All right. I'm just going to throw in some. Did I knock the camera back again? Let me fix my camera. Okay. Again, I want to use a little bit of orange to pay homage to Michelangelo, even though I think everybody knows he's the last Ronin. I just want that little Easter egg that he still sports the orange, even though I know it's black. Although I've seen it green too. Um, and I have to, since this is a full 9x12, I'm probably a little more precious on staying inside the lines or going outside the lines where I think it may add to this to the story. So an illustration like this should tell a story. And what story am I trying to tell here with this drawing? I don't know yet. Like on this last one, I put in some of that blood splatter, battle damage, changed the eyes up a little bit because I wanted to get him in its extreme close up, but I wanted to show that the fierceness, with the story being, I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. So is this meditation pose pre-fight or post-fight? That's kind of the question I'm going to have to ask myself as I finish this up. Is this pre-fight or is this post-fight? And I haven't decided yet. Now, since this is smooth Bristol paper, the color goes down just a little bit different. It spreads a little bit different. So I have to be aware of that. It blends differently than the vellum. These two sketch cards are vellum. And so the alcohol marker just handles on them a little bit differently. Not good or bad in any way, just different. And so understanding that will help with the picture overall. So here's a good example of this little section right there. I know I'm going to black it out, so I don't need to put any color in there. I know for a fact I'm going to black it out. Where under the neck, I'm probably going to black some of that out, but I don't know where yet. So I'm wasting a little bit of marker work here, but that's okay. Because part of me wants to, that's not supposed to be green. That's supposed to be gold. So that's a mess up. But it's okay. Because the gold I use has a green tint to it, it won't be that bad. But that's going to be gold for the shell. And these toes are green. It's going to be a lot of fun putting the final ink on this. Actually, I should make his pads orange as well. Again, throw back a little homage to Michelangelo. I think that'll be cool because I can always go over them to dull it down a little bit, which I'll probably do. I'll probably paint them orange, and then I'll use a brown or a sienna or umber, I should say. I'll use an umber, maybe a sienna, and just dull it down just a little bit so it's not as bright as the bandana. I know a lot of the bandana I'm going to black out, so I'm not too worried about it. But this is coming together pretty fast. How we doing time-wise? We're doing pretty good. Let me go back to the orange for these pads. Adds a little color to it too. I wasn't going to do the whole thing, but I think I will. Again, I know I'm going to dull it down with something else, so I'll go ahead and put it all in there right now. In the words of Samuel Jackson and Triple X, try to look dope while you're doing it. And I think he's looking pretty dope. Little ASMR marker. Squish, 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 squish. Squish, 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 squish. And then we'll get the tortoiseshell in here. And I can even go over this a little bit and blend it out. And we're going to make this a lot of shell. Okay. That's my dab of color. I know this is going to be dark black. There's going to be a lot of black in there. So I'm going to come back to this. And let's go and get another sketch card. Actually, we can do this. We can leave this up here while we get our sketch card out. We're doing good on time. We're at about the 10:30 mark. And I said I would auction those off at 10:30, but give me just a little, bear with me just a little while longer. While I prep this card real quick. Actually, this one has too much glue on it. Let me grab another one. There we go. I can fiddle with the glue off camera on this other card. This one popped out pretty nice and clean. All right, let's see what this Casey Marie chick. Let's go back to her real quick. I think we got something cool for her. Oh, I think we do. I think we do indeed. I think I'm going to do a combination of a few things. And we're looking at the Mortal Kombat version with the mask. Okay, yeah, definitely, definitely. She's kind of badass. And I think if we go with, there's a pose that I think would be pretty cool for her. All right, let's do it. All right, this will be the last sketch card. And we're going to go with kind of her in a 3/4 view. Um, I think I want a little bit bigger than that for what I'm thinking. Hopefully this is cool. Hopefully this is cool. I'm hoping. I think it is. All right. I'm kind of digging it right now. Excuse me for being so quiet while I kind of figure out this pose. Trying to do something that's kind of cool. Making sure my anatomy is good. And I know I need to put the mask on her. But first, if I make sure the anatomy is good, when I put the mask on, it'll look right. And that's, we got to make sure it's going to look right. There's her forehead. And she wears a ponytail. back of her neck would come down like that. But what I want to do is I want to actually, let me get the mask in first. On top of that, I need to make sure it's going to be like that. If I bring this up right here, again, I want to thank everybody for stopping by today. I appreciate it. We're doing our last sketch of the night, and we're doing Casey Marie Jones from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Right now, I'm just making sure the anatomy is correct before I start getting into details. She looks like she's got kind of like a cape look. So we'll give her a little of that. And then what else does she have? She's got, it's kind of like a short sleeve with some banding underneath. She's a grown woman, so she's got, we can put boobs on her without, getting in trouble. And she's got some wrist wraps. And then a little purple underneath there. And then she's got the mask. So the mask comes over the nose. And then down in front, it comes under the chin. And up over her cheekbone. So it'll come up under the eye, like that. Over the nose. Proper like. And that's why I like to do the basic features underneath, just so I can make sure everything's in the right place. And then I know that the mask sits on top of the face and it doesn't replace the face. And that's just how I try to keep it straight in my mind. And so it looks right to me. That's one of the problems, and that I used to have, is that I'd be like, why does that look wrong? And then, once I got some feedback, I realized I was putting clothes and armor and uniforms and stuff. I wasn't putting it on top of the person. I was replacing the person with it. And it just didn't look right because it should sit on top of the person unless it's painted on. But clothing and uniforms, armor, mask need to sit on top of the face, not replace the face. And so the nose hole comes down, and then she's got the Hannibal Lecter thing going on. How's that looking? Good so far? Good so far. All right, cool. Then we need cool ponytail action. Okay. And that'll be cool. That'll be cool. And then, do you mind if I bring the sword up right up under her eyes? Would that be cool? Just right there. Is that cool? Bam. I can dig it. I can dig it. All right, let's get a basic, do the same thing we did before. We'll get a basic, the basic line work in here so we can erase. Let me do this first because I will mess it up. And I want to make sure that stays straight. And I want to do the top line first so I don't smear the bottom line. All right, there we go. All right, this, I gotta admit, this is kind of cool. I'm digging her. I am digging her. Let's see if we can finish this in 5-10 minutes, and then we'll throw it up for $1. How about that? Would that be a good deal? A little Casey Marie Jones for $1. You know what's funny? I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first live commission that I shouldn't say commission, live request that someone has asked me for, and I just did it on the spot. Normally, I don't do that. Normally, I say, okay, let me do some research and plan it for the next show. I'm just in a good mood today. I'm in a creative mood. I shouldn't say good mood. I'm in a creative mood today, and she's got to breathe. And I don't know. I guess because I've been doing so much work lately, I'm just been in a groove today. I can feel the flow, and I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it was a cool request. I don't know. Put that on the back too? What do you mean? Oh, we should put that on the back. Put what on the back? Oh, that this is the first live request that I've done on Whatnot? Is that what you're talking about? Put that on the back? Okay, I can do that. How we doing on time? 10:41. So I'm gonna auction off these pieces. I'm not gonna try to finish the 9x12 on camera tonight. I don't think anybody wants to sit there through that. And or maybe I'll jump on later tonight and do it. That's what I'll do. I'll take a break. I'll jump on later tonight, probably really late tonight, and finish it. Because I do have a few other things to take care of around the house. Unfortunately, life is a thing that has to happen. But I'm going to auction these off real quick. All of them. That's that. That's that. That looks good. I think that's enough of the line. I can keep it straight in my head from here. I think. Do I got everything? I got everything. Okay. Just clean up the sword a little bit. Make sure that's nice and clean in there. Exquisite. What's happening? So her eyes are green. That's good to know. Let me do that real quick. let's see. No, because I did not know that they were green. So let me do that first. Is this going to be bright enough? Yeah, this will be bright enough. That will be bright enough. All right, thank you much. Thank you much. And we're going to black out a lot of this. The mask is white, isn't it? Okay, it's white. That sucks, but I'll make that work. Why does it suck? Because you can't go brighter than white. So I'm going to have to use gray to kind of shape it and highlight it a little bit. The first thing I want to do, though, is, give her some skin tone. Let's go with a 10 or 30. So she doesn't look like she's glowing in the dark. You digging it so far? Well, here's preliminary sketch. And now let's make it badass, like we did the turtles, right? We start off with a basic sketch, then some line drawing, get rid of that pencil. Now let's see if we can make it badass, because that's the goal always, overall. Make it look dope. Actually, she wraps her fingers too, doesn't she? Before I do this, she wraps her fingers as well. She wraps her wrist and her fingers. So I want to make sure I put in some finger wraps to make sure I don't cover that up. And then she wraps her wrist, she wraps her fingers. We've got the mask. Got the eyes. And okay, now we're ready. Background color. I'm assuming that you're going to want this sketch card. So if there's certain things that you think would make it look badass, please, as a aficionado of the IP, please let me know so that we make it look badass. I will say she's fun. I'm gonna have to look more into her as well. Now, is she in the Ronin, or is she in a different part of the world? I'm gonna have to add a little bit of intensity to her eyes so that she can be, I'm gonna have to tell the story with her eyes as she looks over her sword. And she goes, "Not today. I am not to be jacked with today. You don't want none of this." That's what her eyes kind of have to say. And so that'll cover her skin tone. Oh, she's on. Oh, she is only in the Ronin universe. Okay, that's cool. That's good to know then. And then she's got like a purplish uh, clothing. Again, I wish I just had a color called purple. That would make my life. Oh shoot, I do actually. Ah, I was looking at the wrong section before. So I do have some purples, and I would say that's good. What are we looking at there? That's about a 50. Now the question is going to be, can I find it? Oh, yep, there we go. There's my V's. Give me just a second here. Let me find the right color. I had the turtle colors pulled out, but I didn't have hers. So, oh, there we go. So allow me just a moment to find the right colors. So when I get the books, she will be represented in there. How many, if we're talking trade paperbacks, which is completed stories, how many of the Ronin trade paperbacks are, because the Ronin only came out, the TMT Ronin hasn't been out for an absolutely long time, has it? I mean, it's relatively new. I'm going to say within the past 5 years. Is that right? Oh, so only 2 trade paperbacks and I got the whole story? That's even better. Now, does it talk about how his brothers got killed? Or does it just launch right into him being the last Ronin? Okay, cool. That's cool then. Because I would definitely be interested in seeing that. I think I'm going to make this a lavender. So some of these colors may not be completely accurate, but I want it to be kind of cool too. So if I take a little artistic license with the colors, I'm sorry. Again, the deeper black shadows is what's going to set it off. And I didn't pre-color plan it. So I'm kind of stay with a blue-gray color palette. And then if I do a blue-gray color palette, then I can do, where's my chart? Missing something here. Oh, my desk is a mess. me just a second. I'm looking for something. Okay, got it. I think if I go with the blue-gray color palette, a red-orange background will look really sharp. That's kind of what, in my mind, I'm thinking. And so some of the colors may not be completely accurate, but I think they'll look sharp. So bear with me. Oh, so they don't die in the book. They're already dead, and then you kind of find out why they're dead. Which is cool. To be honest, this to me is one of those parts where you start to see it come alive, and you're like, oh man, that is kind of badass. If I do say so myself. Because in my mind, I'm starting to see it come alive. And I'm starting to see where I want certain things to shine. And certain places to highlight. And I'm actually going to take a little bit of this inside the eye for some unity. Okay. And then I want to go with she's got black hair, so I'm going to go. No, I'm going to go a little lighter. Give me just a second here. Again, I want to thank everybody for hanging in there. Give me just a few more minutes and we'll run all these sketch cards that we did tonight. I'm just kind of feeling my way through a color palette here. hopefully it all makes sense here in just a moment. Any questions as we finish up for tonight? Okay, that's that, that's that, that's that. And I'm going to go with, actually, since she's in the Ronin, I can go with, she can get a little red moon on her too, right? Let me get a good circle template. Do I have something smaller than this? Maybe if I do, put it behind her like that. I think that'll be cool if I do that. Or do I do it here? No, back here. Moon to the back. Okay, I'm starting to feel it now. I think this will be cool. Give her that nice, same type of red that he's got up there. Again, thanks everybody, whether you watch live or you're watching the replay. I appreciate you checking it out for a little while or a long while. If you listen to this part, I do shows on, when do I do shows? I do shows Saturday nights, and I call it Sketch Cards Saturday Night. And I usually do 4x6 sketch cards. The 2x3s, my eyes are not good enough to do those very quickly. I do them, but those are usually done off camera just because it takes me longer to do those, to draw that small, than it does to do this. And this I can do a lot quicker. But Sketch Card Saturday Night, I do comics and pop culture. That's the goal of it. And today we did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Ronin, which was a recommendation that I had never done before. And so I've had fun doing it. And then on Thursday nights, I do fantasy art, and it's usually some type of painting. If I blue, lately I have been painting mythological creatures, Minotaur, and Pegasus, Medusa, Chimera. And coming up next week, next Thursday, we're going to start doing Merlin the Magician. Again, it's not just mythology, or Greek mythology, I should say. It's fantasy. I call it Mythology Madness because that's basically the basis of it. It was for my Minotaur collection. But then someone like today, normally if you leave it up to me on Sketch Card Saturday Night, I'm just going to do Batman. I'm going to do the Batman Rogues Gallery. That's the type of stuff I'm going to do. Uh, but, one of my friends was like, stop just doing Batman. And so I expanded to pop culture stuff. And I've done Transformers. I did a lot of Marvel. And it's been a lot of fun. And then someone recommended, hey, do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Ronin. And I was like, you know what? I've never done that. And so I researched it. It was pretty cool. And so that's what we did tonight. So if there's a topic or theme that anybody's interested in, please let me know. And we'll knock it out. We'll make it happen. So right now I'm just blocking in the color. And then once all the color's blocked in, I'm going to go back with my ink brush and make it look cool. If I did that first, then the color would smear in the ink and it would not look cool anymore. It would look like you smeared all the ink. That's what it would look like. So I'm going to cover some of this up with ink. The parts I know that are going to be black, I left open, but some of the other parts I'm going to cover up with ink. And so, I don't think of it as wasteful because this color blocking really helps me see the volume and the shadow and where I want to go with the story that I'm trying to tell. And for this one, I hope you can look at it and get a story in your mind that makes it kind of like, ooh, that's kind of badass. And I like the red and orange background set off against the blues and purples. I think that'll make her pop more. And as soon as I block it in, we go in with the pen or the brush and we really set it off. And I'm looking forward to that part. But before I do that, I want to definitely do one of the suggestions that was made. Yeah, I think that makes the character kind of pop off the paper. All right, and so that should be the nice color block in. And we're also going to go with, where's my highlighter? I'm also going to do some of this on there. But I want to, I keep bumping the camera with my head. I'm sorry about that. First ever live request on Whatnot. What is today's date? February 3rd. All right. All right. So now we can go in with the brush and let's make this thing look cool. How about that? The deep blacks. It's easy to put the ink over the marker. It's very hard to control the marker with this ink because once this ink's down, it can smear. It dries relatively quickly, but I use alcohol markers and the alcohol markers will pick up the ink sometime, depending on, what I do with it. I think I should, hold on a second. think I should put a little highlight here as well. And maybe here. So next week on Sketch Card Saturday night, do I continue? No, I need a new topic. So any suggestions for next week? Something that's not comic related from DC and Marvel. Make me work. Make me work for it. Like this was, I did 4 drawings tonight on things I haven't done ever. So make me work for it. Make me earn it. Make me grow as an artist. Like I can draw Batman while I'm sleeping. I draw Batman for warm up every day. When I meet somebody and they go, "Oh, you can draw? Draw me something." I draw Batman, which I don't understand either. You know, people, "Oh, you supposed to be able to draw? Draw me something." That's like if you met a carpenter and you're like, "Oh, you supposed to be a carpenter? Fix something." Ooh, Red Sonja. That would be cool. Now I have done Red Sonja before, but but I haven't done a lot of it. I think I've only done. I did a sketch cover and a few. You know what? Yeah, let's do. Now I got to think. Yes, let's do some females next week for sure. And Red Sonja would be good. She's sexy. And now the one thing that here's the funny part. I look at her. Oh, I'm thinking of Vampirella. That was the other person I was thinking of. I've done Vampirella. I did a Vampirella sketch cover. I did not do a Red Sonja sketch cover. I did Vampirella. And that's on one of the comic sketch covers. It wasn't for the company. I don't want to give that impression that they have hired me to do anything. But the sketch cover blanks that they give to the artists, I've done Vampirella. I do have some Red Sonja sketch covers. So maybe next week, just like we did this week, we do some Red Sonja sketch cards, and then we finish off with a Red Sonja comic sketch cover. That would be kind of cool. That would be fun too. Red Sonja and Vampirella, make it a dynamic duo. I can do that. And it would be fun. And it would make me work for it. Because like if you just told me draw her now, I'd have to look it up. I don't know anything about her. I shouldn't say anything about her. I don't know enough to just sit down and draw without getting some reference, doing some sketch practice. What's funny is for this week, I drew some turtles too. Not just ninja, the Ninja Turtle line. I drew just like plain old turtles because I wanted to be sure that I was given the right vibe. Make sure I'm not smearing anything with my hand. I wanted to make sure the turtles had the right vibe. I live in Florida, so I see turtles a lot. And I wanted to give like the nose. I didn't want to just do a little circle because that's not really true to how a turtle nose is. It's more of a slot. And so that's why I drew it that way. So yeah, I'm definitely down to do some Red Sonja Vaporella. I think that will be cool. And in the words of Samuel L. Jackson, try to look dope while you're doing it. Does anybody know what movie that's from? Save the world, get the girl, and try to look dope while you're doing it. Bonus points if you know what that's from. Not that anybody needs or wants bonus points, Brad. Hmm. We completely blew time, but that's okay. We're having fun. I know I said I would auction off at 10:30. I'm sorry. I apologize for anybody that came back at 10:30 for the auctions. I really apologize. And I also apologize if I've been drawing off camera because sometimes I don't pay attention to the screen and I look over and I'm too far down and I don't think you can see what I'm doing, or I stick my head in the camera and then you can't see what I'm doing. So I apologize for that as well. All right. I think that's all right. Cool. Um, I think I want to bring that down a little bit. That's good there. Can you dig the color palette now? You like the way that orange sits in the background? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's very kind. Amazing is way more than I could hope for. I was just hoping for okay. Or that doesn't suck. How's it look? Doesn't suck. Okay. Oh. And I think I want to finish the rest with a pen so I can have a little more control. Actually, nope. There's a few other areas. That's hilarious feedback when you ask somebody how something is and they go, it doesn't suck. It's like, what the hell does that mean? I remember I did some paintings for Orlando MegaCon a few years ago. Actually, it's probably more than a few years ago because I think this was before COVID. And one of my friends, artist friends, came by the table, came by my table, and I was like, "So what do you think?" And he's like, "Honestly, I was like, yeah, honestly. He's like, well, I like this one. And I had about 5 paintings on my table. And I was like, so you don't like the other ones? And he's like, no, I didn't say that. And I was like, and it was the reaction. He thought he was being offensive, and so he was trying to be careful. And I was like, no. Uh, I was like, you can't, not you can't, but I was like, I can't do everything at a $500 price point because these were original paintings. I was like, if I don't bring anything but $500 paintings, nobody's going to buy them. So I have to have different price points for different people. And he was like, oh, okay, I get it. Because I wasn't doing prints. He had prints. He was a painter as well, which is why I had to ask his opinion. And he had prints of his paintings. And he's like, why don't you just do the prints? And I was like, honestly, because these are characters that I don't own, so I didn't want to do prints for something. And then someone decide, they come by and they say, hey, you don't own this, take this off the table. Because that has happened to people in the past where, you know, and I'll tell you, the person who does it the most, the person you'll hear about who does it the most, I shouldn't say person, the organization is Disney. Like Disney will shut you down. Like they'll come by and say, yeah, we don't want you selling this stuff. And you're like, what? And it's happened to a few friends of mine. And you can't say anything because they're right. If they tell you you can't sell it, you can't sell it. But the person that made prints of a lot of work. And I was like, man, that sucks. And he was like, yeah, it does. But what can you do? All right, we're finishing up here in just a few minutes, and then we're going to run all 3 of those sketch cards. Um, I just want to make sure we aren't shortchanging any of the work. And giving all of it the attention it deserves. This has been a very fun night. I do want to say thank you for joining. And I also want to say thank you for the suggestion of doing this for tonight. This was a lot of fun. Drawing women's a little bit harder because you can't put a lot of lines in them. It makes them look old. Unless, of course, it's an old woman, which she is not. All right, I think that's good there. Just a little bit more detail. I'm actually going to give her a few strands blowing in the wind. if you're fighting, there's going to be a few hairs out of place, right? And maybe, no, some hairs here. Give her a little character. I always say with sketch cards, I always tell myself, I'm not going to be that precious with them. I'm just going to get them done. And then once I get into them, I'm precious with them. And I try to add a little bit more detail and flavor so that whoever they go home with, they don't have any buyer's remorse. They get it. They think it looks good. They buy it. And then once they get it, they go, oh my God, it's so much better in person. That's when I'm like, okay, I did my job. Because if they get it and they like, this looks so much better in person, I'm like, I did my job. Because I know the camera cannot catch everything. And I don't think we would want it to be honest, right? Just a few more lines. That's not what I want. Thank you, thank you. You like the sword right up under the eyes? Is that cool? And I got nice black. I got some detail in there. I do want to add just a little bit right there. Come down there. The hand is cool. Got the arm. Again, put a few hairs out of place. And I'm going to go ahead and just do, this will be the last part. Just set it off with a little twinkle in the eye, maybe. And then a little twinkle on the sword. There we go. All right. So now we're done. And let me throw this one up there. Let me get them all set up. I hope you all can dig it. And we've got our note. First ever live request on Whatnot, 03 February. And I will sign them as we auction them off. So And actually, let me make sure I get them all in the picture, get a good thumbnail shot. And actually, I'll put them in order that we're going to auction them off. Okay, there we go. It's off a little bit, but that's okay. There we go. All right, so I do not have this set up, so let's do this real quick. I don't even have a picture. Oh, but I can take one, can't I can take one now, can I? Yeah, I can take one now. Boom. There we go. And this is going to be comic art, and it's going to be TMNT Ronin. And sketch cards. And next, and we have 3. And these are going to be $1 starting. Let's publish it real quick. All right, here we go. So this first auction is going to be for the one on top. We're going to run it for 30 seconds, and we are, let me cover up so nobody can misunderstand what I'm saying. This is the one we're auctioning off right now. All right. Boom. 30 seconds. And this is for TMNT Ronin. Little red background. All right. This one stays with me for a little while. And now we're going to do close up. With a little bit of battle damage. Again, thank you everybody for stopping by. I appreciate it. Had a great time tonight. One of the longest shows I've done, but we got a lot done. And then we have the mistress of the bunch. Sorry for making you wait till last. And we'll run that one for 30 seconds as well. Thank you for the suggestion. It was a lot of fun drawing Miss Casey Marie Jones in her Mortal Kombat style. I hope you love it. I hope you appreciate it. And I appreciate your support for sure. And with that, I am going to call the show for tonight, or for now. I may jump back on, like I said, in a couple hours after I relax my hands And I may work on this some more just to, you know, just for fun. Or I might go to bed. I don't know. It's kind of late. I'm on the East Coast. It's 11:30. I've been going for 3 hours. Who knows? All right. Thanks a lot. You all take care. Let me get a good thumbnail shot before we leave. Because the thumbnail always come. It's easier if I get a thumbnail and it automatically, then I have to go back and redo one. I like to try to get the thumbnail that comes up to be good. All right, and let's focus that down. Good job. Have a good night. Thanks again. I appreciate the help, the support, the knowledge, and I will get this in the mail. First thing, I'll put it in the mailbox tomorrow. I don't know if they're going to do a pickup on Sunday or not, but it'll be there. And I appreciate everything. Everybody, you all take care. Have a great night and peace out.